So tonight, here by myself, all the lads have gone out drinking. I came here earlier on and just removed the spark plugs from down in there, turned the motor over and shitloads of oil came out, so just confirmed what we originally thought. So suspected oil control ring on the first rotor. So I'm pretty much tonight just going to start removing everything to get the motor up. So pretty much everything from the firewall back. I'm going to try and pull the gearbox out with the motor as well, so just try and make it a bit easier. So all this plastics, and then the 500 horsepower Bridgeport single turbo build begins. I've got the essentials over here ready for a big late night. I've got 2 sugar-free monsters and some pre-workout for keeping me alive, keeping me going. It's going to be a late one. Thought I might as well put a face to the voice. So I'm Josh and I own the RX7 that I'm working on. So what I've done already, I've been here for about 5 minutes, is remove the battery, and there was 3 bolts that hold it in. Just one there, just one behind down the back here and one in the front. The stock airbox is coming out for the last time. Might have one more hose connected to that, but this will come out because the battery is going to be relocated to the boot. So all this here is going to come out, and it's going to be quite a bit of space compared to stock form, but looking better already. So the smart fellas from Mazda in Japan, when they made these cars, designed it so you can drain the radiator pretty much directly underneath the car. It's pretty convenient, so I'm just going to remove this bung, or try to remove this bung, and then drop the pressure by releasing the cap at the top, and it should drain pretty quick. And then while it's draining, I'll do other things. So there we go, coolant plug removed. This one. Too easy. Well done, Mazda, well done. So guys, it's literally been like probably 20 minutes and I've got this whole entire front piece, intercooler, airbox, battery, some of the lines for the turbo off. So much plastics, guys, you wouldn't believe. All this junk that's just unneeded. Got the old turbos there, but all this plastic stuff, so unnecessary. And now I've got so much room for
activities. Making my head spin how many activities we can do.
So next up, I'm just going to remove this compressor for the air conditioning, the compression tube there, just some of the intake piping, and then I'm going to start on the wiring side of things, because the harness actually comes out with the motor as well. So you've got to pull it through the firewall from the ECU side. I think it's like 4 plugs in total. You pull those through and they come out with the motor as well. And then it's just a matter of just disconnecting any lines that cross over through the firewall, heater hoses and whatnot, stuff like that, and then just exhaust out the downpipe, which I'll record. And yeah, it's looking good though. We've got quite a bit of room here now, so plenty of room for a V-mount setup or front mount if we want to go down that road. We haven't decided yet, but we'll do some more research and get back. I just thought it was important also to note that I'm just learning. You know, if you guys got any suggestions or anything like that, just let me know in the comments, because I'm just learning just like you guys. So I'm no specialist or anything like that. I'm just jumping into it and giving it a go. I think it's better not to take your car to a shop to get them to work on it, it's better to do it yourself, because then you can say you've built something. You know, like, just like Adam's here as an example, everything he's done here, it's all done by himself. The wide body, everything, pretty much but the paint. So it's just all about giving it a go, and that's what we're all about here at Mayhem Inc. So just removing these belts now. So this one here, you got to undo this tensioner nut, I guess you could call it, and then there's an adjuster screw at the top, so you just unwind that and it pulls the tensioner up and loosens the belt. So it's a good little trick if you want to replace your belts. And the secondary one here is done, it's got a bolt at the top here, and then there's like a tensioner that sometimes you'd find on alternators that just, this whole compressor pivots out and adjusts the belt. So if you ever want to replace your belts on a RX7, you've got that one, and this one to undo. Too easy. So I've continued on with the removal process. Pulled out the stock radiator because I'm going to replace it anyway. So yeah, we'll be doing a whole lot of modifications. I'm thinking about removing the twin oil cooler setup for just newer, bigger units. Replace the hoses and stuff with braided lines too. Just all these little niggly things in the way that I've started removing, like heater core hoses which crossed over from there to there. Pretty much trying to clear a path down either side of the engine and over the back as well, just so I can pull it all out as one unit, which is the easiest way, of course. So what I've got to do now is begin to remove the wiring and chuck it on top of the engine. It'll be the easiest way. About to climb under the car shortly and begin to remove the downpipe, which is going to be an absolute horrible job. I know this because last weekend it took me an hour or two just to put 4 bolts in, or 4 studs, so that's going to be fun, but it's all worth it. It's all worth it. Bit of a quick update. I'm 1.5 monsters down and my hands are shaking a bit, but good progress. We got wiring semi-loose. Still need to unplug it from the ECU. I know that's going to be a very, very tedious job because I watched many tutorials before I attempted this myself, so everyone seemed to get stuck on the HVAC plug into the ECU. Apparently it's in a very nasty spot. I'm just currently pulling the exhaust off. Well done. So here she is, the exhaust, made in-house by Grimo. I think the plan with this one here is just to and then V-band onto the end of the downpipe. So it will be a full V-band exhaust. I think I might go for a 4-inch downpipe. All is going well. I'll just get a quick time update too. 9:41. See how long we can go for tonight. Here we are underneath the car. I've got this little brace for the gearbox to come off. It's just got 4 12mm bolts holding it in, and then there's these 2 bigger ones here, which are like the main brace, I guess, for the gearbox. Still going hard at the RX7. Ended up, to get at the downpipe bolts or studs, I removed the first turbo charge pipe so I could get my ratchet in there, and had to use a spanner for a couple of them because it is quite tight. I've still got one left right at the bottom, but it should come out fairly easily. The stock downpipes on these are absolute mongrels to take off, so a word of advice for anyone who does want to change theirs out or anything like that, take this off first and then you'll have better access at these. So yeah. So here we are in the cabin of the RX7. Just pulled this cover off. It was just clipped on, nothing holding it on, just yank on it and it will come out. A few little connections that I unplugged, and since the gearbox is coming out with the engine, we've got to take the shifter out. So it's just 4 10mm, and I imagine there'll be more bolts under this cover, so we shall see. World's longest extension. Also got this carbon fiber wrap. I'm going to put it on this and maybe along here as well, just to spice up the inside of the RX7 a little bit, make it look a little bit different than most ones you'd see. Never done that before either, but it can't be too hard. It's just a bit of bloody vinyl, so that'll be a little extra as well, put in there. And I've got to polish a whole bunch of parts for my engine as well, like throttle body, that compression tube. I'm gonna see if we can get a gritty one and polish that up real nice, and upper intake manifolds and turbos when I buy them, so it's gonna look like a show car. And that's the plan anyway, so there'll be a few little extras on how to polish parts for your engine bay, make it look real pretty. Almost there now with these. Oh, typical ripped. I think almost every RX7 has this second boot ripped. It's just like a rite of passage, really. So we'll just pull that off. We have our next lot of bolts. So I think I'll go for the 3 10mm on the top and hopefully just pop this off. We won't have to do these ones. That's the plan anyway. Where are you now? That was easier than I thought. Looks like there should be a key in there that's actually missing. Oh, what was that? Something just dropped down there and I don't know what it was. So now, that's all good. And I don't know if you guys did notice, but I'm a big fan of putting, if you can, whenever you do something, put your nuts or bolts and screw them back in to where they came from. It takes a little bit of time, but it will save a lot when you go to put it back together, because you know which bolts go where, because you put them back when you took it apart. So I try and do this to everything, even like hose clamps and stuff, so you can't get anything wrong. Just don't drop them in your gearbox. It's currently 12 o'clock here, midnight. I started at 7 o'clock. And I'm just working on this wiring now. Just got to unplug all these. And we're going to ditch the stock computer because it's not going to help us in any way to achieve the 500 horsepower goal. I've just got to pull the wiring. Everyone that I've watched on YouTube and whatever, they all pull the wiring harness through the firewall. So I'll be doing the same thing as them. I've got one 24mm nut holding the gearbox on. Other than that, I've got heater hoses to disconnect. And a few other little bits and pieces with wires here and there, but for the most part, I mean, it's pretty much ready to go. Unfortunately, the engine crane that normally lives in that corner is now over there somewhere. Someone's house came and borrowed it, so I guess tomorrow the plan is just to put the wheels on, drop it on the ground, and I'll push it back, clear all that stuff out of the way at the back there, push the car back there, and then we'll have plenty of room to get in the engine crane, lift the engine out. We can pull the gearbox off and have a look at the clutch and stuff too while it's out, so we don't muck around here. Alrighty, so we are down to the last few things. Taking off the fuel lines now. I have put a cable tie on that one, and I put a cable tie on the end that it goes to, so they correspond to each other. I'm trying to find more coloured cable ties so I can mark the rest, but I'm struggling to find some, so that might have to be tomorrow's job. Go to work and get some coloured cable ties, so get all those around the right way. That's pretty important. The only other things left I can see, just breathers, like, you know, heater hoses. The wiring looms underneath this ABS right down here, so I don't know if I pull this out or just unbolt it and then lift it up a little bit and then pull the wiring through, or something like that. I make up my mind, but it's like past midnight now and been at it for a few hours by myself. So I think I might call it a night. So it's a pile of stuff. The effects of the monsters and the pre-workout have worn off, and I'm feeling like absolute shit. But the progress was good enough for today.